Good morning, mathematicians. We're looking at Lesson 3, Metric Conversion and Multiplication by Powers of 10. We are looking at a table that lists a certain measurement in meters. We see 6.5 or 6 5/10 meters. We need to list on the table what that same measurement would be in centimeters and in millimeters. So our task for today is to complete the table. Then we will explain or show our reasoning. You'll notice down below I went ahead and started a sentence that we will use to explain our reasoning, but also will help us to complete the table. So the first thing that we need to note is that there are 100 centimeters in a meter. Now, because I know that I can take this idea of 6 5/10 meters and I can multiply 6 5/10 by 100 to find out how many centimeters are in 6.5 meters. So we know when we multiply by a power of 10, we move our decimal to the right, and I know I'm going to move it to the right 2 times because I'm multiplying by 100. So to answer this question, I can go ahead and write my 6 and my 5, and I'm going to start with my decimal here. I'm now going to move my decimal 1 time to the right and a second time to the right, and I will need to use a placeholder 0, but I have found my answer. There are 650 centimeters in 6 5/10 meters. Now, I am going to go in and erase all of this brainstorm so that my table will be nice and neat. Feel free to pause the video if you are still thinking about where we got to our answer of 650. I am going to go ahead and clean up this portion of the table now and just report as we would on any graphic source, just the idea of the number. So I'm going to write my 650 because that is how many centimeters are in 6 5/10 meters. Now let's go ahead and down below let's think about this relationship. There are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. So if I have 650 centimeters, I know that I need to multiply by 10 to find out how many millimeters that's going to be. So since I am multiplying, I am going to be moving my decimal to the right, and I'm going to move my decimal to the right 1 time. So let's go ahead and do that. We have 650, and when I move my decimal to the right 1 time, that's really the same as adding a 0. 1, 2, 3, comma. My answer here is 6,500. Once again, pause the video if you're still studying that, because I'm now going to get rid of that scrap work and I'm going to report this as we would any graphic source. I am going to report that there are just the number 6,500 because we can see on the table that that means how many millimeters equal that certain number of centimeters and that certain number of meters. So now that we know our answers in the table, let's go ahead and let's continue our explanation sentences. I've already begun this sentence relating to the centimeters. We know this relationship to be true. There are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So, in 6 5/10 meters, there are 650 centimeters. We have given a sentence that relates it back to the relationship and also how we've utilized that relationship of 100 centimeters to 1 meter in order to find the answer we needed. Let's do the same thing for the millimeters. The sentence I began said there are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. So in 650 centimeters, there are 6,000 500 millimeters. Okay, we have followed both parts of our question. We've completed the table and we have explained our reasoning. Boys and girls, that finishes out our lesson 3 cool down.